Okay, hey guys, welcome back to another pre-markets webinar brought to you by IC Markets. Alright, and today we will be going through two very simple things which I'll be showing later on. Alright, so before I begin the pre-markets live analysis, remember that this is everything in this webinar is educational in nature and nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. Alright, so please remember to do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Okay, so let's move forward. Alright, so the agenda for today, as usual, will be firstly covering high impact news events for the week ahead, and secondly will be key technical setups to watch out for. Alright, so these are just a few things that you guys would have to take note of. Okay, let me adjust. Alright, okay, so I'm your host for today. My name is Woon and I'll be going through with you guys today's pre-markets live analysis. Okay, alright, so for the key news events for the week ahead. Alright, so for Monday we have only one news, which is actually AUD. RBA Governor Bullock speaking. Alright, so this will affect pairs such as AUD USD, AUD JPY, etc. Alright, then for Tuesday, good morning, hi Nick. Alright, so for Tuesday we have GBP, right? GBP news, and we have Euro news as well as USD news. Alright, so we have the standard flash manufacturing PMI for Euro, GBP, and USD pairs. Alright, and as for Wednesday, we have Fed Chair Powell speaking. Alright, that is for the USD pair. Alright, then for the AUD, we have CPI news. Alright, so usually CPI news will affect the markets a little bit more, so you can expect more volatility for AUD USD on Wednesday itself. Alright, so Thursday we have CHF and USD news. Okay, so for CHF we have the monetary policy assessment news as well as policy rate. So this would cause quite a little bit of movement for this high volatility pair called CHF JPY, right? Which is the Swiss franc and Japanese yen pair. I'm not sure if you guys have actually traded this pair before, but it's basically like how do I describe it? It's a little bit like gold, but with more volatility, I would say, right? Because Swiss franc and JPY pairs usually has a lot of movements. Yeah, so you can expect Thursday to be quite exciting for that pair itself. Alright, then we also have USD final GDP. Okay, this is the final GDP for the month of September. Okay, and as well as unemployment claims. Okay, so Thursday will be quite exciting for pairs like gold, pairs like pound dollar. Alright, these are the ones that will cause the markets to move quite a bit. And then for Friday we have CAD GDP, and lastly USD core PCE price index. Okay, just all these news itself. Right, so usually towards the end of the month, the Thursdays, Wednesdays to Fridays will be a little bit more volatile. Alright, so you can expect more volatility for this week ahead. Okay, alright, so enough of all these news. Let's move forward with the charts. Okay, alright, so let's start off with DXY. Alright, so looking at DXY, right, you can see right here as we are on the daily time frame. Okay, so let's start off with DXY. Okay, so just to remove all of this again, okay, you can see right here price was at price actually broke past this previous swing low the other time, right? Yes, yeah, we are going through DXY now. Okay, so you can see how price actually broke past this level over here. Okay, price actually broke past this level over here, but if you look to the right side, right, price didn't close below this swing low level, right? What I mean by close is that the body of this candle didn't close below. Instead, it actually closed and wicked. You can see this wick over here, right? Means that there could be a possible recovery for DXY. That's why we are looking at a possible retracement at least to roughly about this level, right? This level before DXY will show some sort of bearish movement again. Okay, so if I were to look at a possible area, which is this common level, right? This common multi-swing high resistance level, right? Then I will place this as my pivot point. Okay, so placing this as my pivot point, then the next level would be, I will draw this out as my put off Fips, right? 61.8% Fibo retracement level. Okay, then my resistance will be at this swing high level over here. Okay, this will be my first resistance. Alright, and as for my first support will definitely be this swing low, sorry, this multi swing low support level. Okay, so pretty simple. This is just the levels for DXY that we have to look at. Alright, then of course we are expecting a push downwards for the XY. Okay, looking at it here, right, kind of makes sense, because if you look at how price action is, right, we have this range. Okay, we had this range. Price actually broke out of this range, and this is technically price retesting this level, right? If price actually goes back in, okay, then we can look at DXY's price to sell off from here. So if we are expecting DXY to sell off from here, then pairs like euro dollar, pound dollar will generally go up, right? Okay, now let's take a look at euro dollar. Alright, so looking at the charts we have now, okay, this makes a lot of sense, because if DXY, there's still a bit of a distance for DXY to become bearish, right? So that's why we have still a little bit of distance before euro dollar bounces off from this level here. Okay, so this is our pivot point for the euro dollar. All right, okay, so our pivot point aligns very nicely with the 61.8% Fibo retracement level. Alright, so we are expecting it to have a bounce off our pivot point to go even higher, to create a, let me see, yeah, to take over this new high over here. Alright, so this is for euro dollar. Alright, so let's take a look at GBP USD. Okay, so for GBP USD, we should also have the same sentiment. Okay, meaning that if we are looking for here, we should be looking for a pivot point. All right, this should be our pivot point. All right, this is our pivot point. Okay, then our support level is actually this multi-swing low support level over here. Alright, so this is our first support, and of course our first resistance would be this swing high resistance level over here. Alright, then now let's take a look at whether we have Fibo. So we will draw from this swing low to this swing high. Let's see if it aligns with the 78.6. Still a little bit far, so I think we can, let me see. Yep, doesn't align, so we will take it out. Okay, Then let me see if there is projection. Okay, let me see. Nope, don't have projection as well. Okay, so I think, let me see. Yeah. Okay, so I think for GBP USD is pretty straightforward if you ask me, right? Generally, I wouldn't draw a fit level from this swing low all the way to this high. Why? It's because there is this area that is being cut through, right? So I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want price to react. I wouldn't want price to cut through our fit level over here, right? So basically, if you use this fit level, right, it's just, even though there is a very nice 61.8% Fibo retracement level over here, but basically you're just forcing it, right? So I wouldn't want that to happen. So yeah, I will just take note of where my key levels are. Okay, so I think for GBP USD will be quite straightforward. This will be my bullish arrow. Okay, then the next one, let's look at USD CHF, because we have let me see. Yeah, we have our CHF news is on Thursday, so we still have a little bit of space to, a little bit of room to work with. Okay, so for USD CHF, right, let's see. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so looking at USD CHF, right, you can see that this level, right, is quite messy. So let me just remove all of this, right? If you look at how price is, right, it actually took out this previous low here, right? So this could mean that price will continue to go bearish. This is just a retracement towards the upside. Okay, so where should we look at next for price to retrace from, right? So what we should look at is any common levels right about here, which is this pivot point. Okay, this level over here, right? Why this level is because here is the last up move before we have a bearish engulfing candle. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys actually do apply this, but I like to use engulfing candles, like be it bearish or bullish engulfing candles, right? These are confirmations of where good supply or demand areas are. All right, so this could be a nice area for you to sell, right? Okay, so furthermore, we also have the 61.8% Fibo retracement level, okay, right at our pivot point. Okay, so this is actually a decent level for you to sell off from, right? I would say this level is fine also, right? But you face the dangers of price fluctuating here. So this is to give it more space to breathe, right? Even if you miss this trade, is fine. I think that is okay to miss this trade, is fine also, right? We don't need to have sniper entries all the time. Okay, so yeah, this is for USD CHF. Okay, let's now take a look at USD CAD. Okay, so if you look at USD CAD, right, you can see how it is actually still within this range. It has been within this range, I think, since August. Previously I mentioned that there is a chance for a head and shoulders pattern, right? You can see right here, this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and then this is the right shoulder. We only see it working if there is a break of structure over here, which is what happened, right? That's why we have a right shoulder. Okay, so now we have confirmation that it might actually go towards the oh wait, it actually reacted already. Okay, so since price failed to close below this low, right, there is a possibility for it to continue rising towards the upside. Okay, so how I will analyze this is I will use this as my pivot point. Okay, this shall be my pivot point. Okay, then my first support will be this level over here. Alright, this is my first support. Okay, and as for my first resistance level, right, we can put it at this range over here. I think this is fine. Okay, we can put it at this range over here. First resistance. Okay, I don't think we have any fib levels to mark out from, so I think this is pretty straightforward. I think it's a pretty simple trade for USD CAD, right? But I will be careful because as you can see right here, right, price is still floating right above this pivot point. Okay, and if you look at our pivot point, right here, we already had a very huge rejection of this pivot point, so it might not even come back towards this level. But I actually do like this demand area, which is this level. Why do I like this level? Remember what I said previously, right? Because I like it when there is an engulfing candle followed by two consecutive bullish candles. So this is what I actually like about such supply or demand areas. In this case, it is a demand area. Okay. Yep, so hopefully price will come back down to this area. But you can see right here, it already happened, right? You can see how price actually created a very huge wick, right? Meaning that price actually came down, touched this area, and then went back up. Okay, so this could mean that price might not come down again, but let's see. Okay, there is a possibility that price could still come down after some time. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, moving on to USD JPY. Okay, so USD JPY has been a little bit tricky, right? It has been floating. Wait, let me see. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so for USD JPY, it has been a little bit tricky, right? Because we are still stuck within this range. As you can see, I think from start of August, right? Price hasn't really moved much, right? Apart from this range. If you trade within this range, you could have profited quite a bit, right? Meaning that you find the highest point, you just sell here, right? Towards the lowest point, you just exit your trade, buy, sell, right? It's basically like ping pong. Okay, so as of right now, the sell levels that we might be looking at would just be this high over here, right? This could be the potential pivot point, right? I'll place my pivot point roughly about here. Yeah, because it wouldn't be anytime soon before it breaks out of this range. Yeah, as you can see, this has been going on for roughly about one month, more than 1 month. Yeah, 1.5 months, right? So I would say this level, yeah, this is roughly about it for USD JPY. Then if you want, this would definitely be your first resistance area. Okay, then the first support would definitely be this level over here. Okay, so nothing too fancy for USD JPY, right? These are the levels that you should only look at. All right, anything apart from that wouldn't really interest me that much. Okay, then if you want, you can mark out your fit projection levels. You can see, oh, it's actually at the 100% fit projection already. Okay, can just ignore this. Yeah, so I think from here we are looking for a sell off. Right now price is almost reaching our pivot point, so we can wait a little bit more, right? I would suggest if you would want, you can enter a slight short position right here. Okay, stop loss slightly above this high, as you can see right here. All right, then your target, you can cut it a little bit shorter, make it 1:3. Yeah, roughly about here. Okay, this is a decent enough trade because from market structure, you can see that price has broken past these lows, right? All these lows. So most likely, if price comes back to this high, right, it will just drop back down to at least this level over here. The first target is of course here, and then after that, this level. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at for USD JPY. Okay, this is bearish arrow. Okay, I think pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Okay, then the next thing we should look at is AUD USD. Okay, let's take a look at AUD USD. Let me clear this out away. Okay, so for AUD USD, I think it's pretty straightforward, right? What we're looking at is actually just at a pullback support level right here, which is our pivot point. Okay, we shall label this as our pivot point. Okay, then for our first support, we can actually place it right about here, which is a multi-swing low support level. Okay, then let's take a look if we can find any feeble retracement level, which I believe it is at the 50%. Yeah, 50% feeble retracement level, right about here. Okay, so for AUD USD, right, what I noticed is that you can enter slightly, don't have to be on the dot at the pivot point, but you can enter slightly below, right, and you give it a little bit more space to breathe. Okay, because I like this level over here, right? I actually do like this level over here, this area. Okay, so you can put it slightly below this area. Okay, then make sure that you are targeting at least 1:2. Okay, so once you are targeting at least 1:2, then it's a valid trade. Don't target anything else below that. It's not really worth it in the long run. Okay, Let me shift this. Okay, I think this is fine for AUD USD. Let me see. Let me see, any other adjustments should I make? No, I think it's fine. Okay, then this shall be my first resistance. Okay, this is my first resistance, and we are looking at a buy for AUD USD. Okay, I think it's pretty straightforward. Wait, let me see if I can find Oh, nice. I can find a 100% FIBO projection also. Okay, so for AUD/USD, I have more confidence in this trade right now because we have the 50% FIBO retracement level along with the 100% FIBO projection level for our pivot point, which is also a pullback support level over here. Yeah, so I think this trade is pretty interesting. I think it's very doable. Okay. Okay, now let's take a look at NZD USD. Okay, so for NZD USD, it's a little bit more, how do I say this? It's a little bit more, it's a little bit different from AUD USD now. It used to be quite similar in a sense, but right now it's not very similar anymore. Okay, so what I am looking at for NZD USD is also right at this pullback support level over here. Okay, let me see. Yeah, then this shall be my first support. Okay, so yeah, if price do come down over here like this, right, then this first support will align with our 161.8% FIBO extension level, right? But if not, then it will most likely react to this pivot point area over here. Okay, because we can see right here, right, that price, after we have this break of structure, we also have a change of character here, right? So this is just a rebound, like a bounce off from our pivot point to go even higher. Okay, so you can expect for price to have a bounce off this pivot point. Okay, so we have covered all the majors so far. Okay, so far any questions, please feel free to type it in the chat box so that I can attend to your questions. Okay, and also if you guys have any other pairs that you want me to go through with you, right, do type it in the chat box and I shall go through it with all of you. All right. BTC and gold, yeah, of course. Okay, come, let's go through okay, let's go through BTC first. Okay, okay, so looking at BTC right now, we can definitely look at where might BTC fall to, and then we can maybe aim for buys. Okay, because overall we are definitely still in the uptrend. right? If you come down here and see, okay, we are still up in the uptrend, but we are slowly going towards we are slowly leading towards the bearish trend. Okay, why is that so? Because if you look right here, okay, price is slowly slowly going below the bullish Ichimoku cloud to form a bearish Ichimoku cloud. Okay, so this is one of the indicators you can probably use to give you a clearer sense of market direction. Okay, so we can expect price to fall down a little bit more before you can possibly enter for buys. Alright, so if you look at the daily time frame, you can see this level. I would say this level is a very nice area for BTC USD for us to buy BTC, okay, which is a pullback level. Alright, if you look right here, this level is super beautiful, right? It has so many touches over here. Okay, we have this first support that had a very nice push upwards to create a all-time high. Alright, then after that it had multiple touches as well. Okay, so this could act as a pullback area for BTC USD. Okay, so this could this is our pivot point. Okay, so let's see if this aligns with our Fibo retracement level. Alright, and indeed it aligns with our 50% Fibo retracement level. Okay, then as for our support, I would place it below here. Our first support, I'll definitely place it below right here at about 107. Okay, then for our first resistance, we will place it right about here at 117. So 112 is our pivot point. Okay, this is our resistance level. Let me see. Let me see for our resistance level, is there any 61? Yeah, okay, so for our resistance level, oh, it already hit. Okay, so it's fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so we are just waiting for BTC to come towards our pivot point before you can decide whether to buy or not. And also right here, remember what I said, the engulfing candle followed by two consecutive bullish candle. So we have a bullish engulfing candle right here followed by two consecutive bullish candles. So this will work out for our buy setup. Okay, you guys can actually try it out. It actually works quite a bit, right? you can go and test it out and let me know how it goes. All right, let me see this one. Bullish arrow. Okay, so let's see. Okay, since we look at BTC USD, let's take a look at ETH also. Okay, so for ETH, right, it kind of mimics the movement of BTC but a little bit slower. Okay, so you can see there was consolidation for BTC USD, right? Still consolidating now, right? But ETH had a little bit of movement only. Okay, so if you are looking for a buy opportunity right here, okay, let me see, buy opportunity. Yeah, okay, so the next level that I would probably look at would be this multi-swing low level here. Alright, because we already have this is our break of structure, alright, but we are waiting for price to come back down to this level before we can enter buys again. most likely it wouldn't fall towards this support level, which is our pullback support level, right? But this is the next level that we are looking at, and let me see. Yeah, roughly it will come towards this. Yeah, if I mark out the projection, right, roughly it will come to this pivot point, which is at the 61.8% feeble projection level here. And also this level, remember what I said previously, right? Engulfing candle followed by 2 consecutive bullish candle. So possibly price could bounce off from here. Okay. Yep, so this is what we are looking at for ETH. Okay, then the next thing is, okay, gold. Yes, okay. So for gold, right, I think it will take a while for us to find a opportunity for gold, right? It has been reaching all-time highs again and again and again, right? Right here you can see this is a very nice level, very nice pullback level for you to buy from, right? Let me see. Yeah. $50 and $61. Yeah, this could be the only outcomes for gold, right? But most likely it will take quite some time for gold to actually come to our pivot point, right? So I would suggest you could also use let me see. We missed the buys already. Previously I was looking at the buys here. Why? It's because this was a nice demand zone for gold, right? We had a break of structure right here. Okay, this was our break of structure, so we look at the last downward movement, which is right about here. Okay, then after that price starts to go all the way up. So looking at how gold is right now, it will probably take a while before it actually come to our pivot point. Okay, so let me see. Even if I put okay, so this is our only option for now. I would suggest only trade during only trade in the H4 or H1 time frames. Okay, H1 is fine, right? You can use H1 to trade. I think the next level, try to find buys at this level over here. Yeah, if not, you can try to sell over here, right? But most likely you can see how strong price is, right? So I would suggest not to sell. I would suggest to keep the buy momentums going, right? So I would stay out of gold for now actually, right? Gold shouldn't be the only money making tool for you guys. I would say there are a lot of other ways, which maybe BTC or any of these major pairs. Okay, so gold is just a bonus if you really know how to trade gold, right? The most important thing is to have a specific strategy that you always use for the majors only. Okay, yeah, so my apologies, Nick, right? BTC we have a setup, but for gold it will be quite some time. If you look at the daily time frames, gold is just bullish all the way. If you just close your eyes and buy, right? Like you just close one eye and you just buy, right? I believe you can even make quite a bit of money without having even a stop loss because of how bullish it is, and it hasn't been it has been quite some time where such things happen, meaning that you just keep pressing buys and don't have a stop loss at all, right? So long as you know how to control the sizing of your trades, right, then you make sure that you wouldn't get margin called for each trade, right? Then you don't have a stop loss, right? Because gold is just all the way bullish. Okay, so that's how difficult it is to find well thought out trade for gold, right? You can just close your eyes and press buy, you will just profit anyways, right? Agree? Yeah. So for gold, I would say you can stay out of it, or you can trade the H4 and H1 time frames. Okay. No worries. Okay. Any other pairs? Do you only usually look at gold and then BTC USD? Because I realized that Nick, right? That you usually look at DXY, and then after that you look at gold and also BTC USD. Any other pairs that you actually do trade, which are not the majors, right? Because the majors I have already covered. But do you trade like US30? US30 is like gold but on steroids. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, let me show you guys. Oh, okay. Okay, let me show you guys how we got this analysis. Okay, so if you are wondering, right, for let's say US30, okay, so let's just say US30, we are looking at all-time highs, right? Because we have all-time highs for US30. Okay, so what's next would actually be how we can spot any levels, right? Which is probably this Nike tick over here. Right, since we have a Nike tick over here, right, let's draw out a level. Okay, so we'll place this as our 161.8% Fibo extension level. So this is our max, okay, max in a way. Alright, so this is our pivot point. Okay, so to find out where the first resistance is, what we should look at is this area. How did price continue over here? 61.8, yes, 61.800. Okay, which is this area over here. This is our first resistance. Okay, and how I got that is because I projected the price from this low to this high to this low to project where price might end up at. Okay, so the two levels that price might end up at will be this level or this level. Only two outcomes, right? Could be somewhere in between as well, which is at the 78.6% Fibo projection level. But what we should use is the closest, right, and the furthest. Okay, so that is what we should do. Okay, then what's next? Yeah, so once you have this, let me see. 78.6. Oh, passed by already. Okay, that's fine. So from here, then we should put this as our first support, which is roughly about this level over here. This could be our first support level. Okay, so this is a little bit confusing because for our pivot point, we have the 161.8% Fibo extension level together with the 61.8% Fibo projection level. So this gives us confidence that price might actually start to become bearish from here onwards. But if you look at Ichimoku cloud all the way bullish, so it's still a little bit scary, right? So what I would do is I will go to H4, right, and see if there is a major rejection on H4, right? But so far no, right? Even on H1 there isn't really a rejection. We just have this very nice doji candle, right? But that's about it. Okay, so just to do a little bit of comparison, right? That's a very good question, Nick, right? So if you look at US 30, okay, and then DXY, it's about opposite, yeah. But usually how would people compare it, right? They will actually compare it with like stocks, yeah, because stocks, right, and US 30 and US tech, all these are basically like indices of the top 100, top 500 companies, etc. Okay, so yeah, if you want to do the comparison, like a fair comparison, I think in terms of trend, etc., right, you can compare with its own family, which is the indices family. But if you compare against DXY, it's inverse relationship, meaning against it, yeah. Because if you look at what do you call it, if you look at the news, right, if there is a rate, if the Feds, right, they actually cut rates, if they cut the rates by a certain percentage, let's say 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, okay, if they cut rates, okay, if they cut rates, then stocks will actually go up. Okay, if they cut rates, stocks will actually go up. If you notice, right, they'll have this slight go down and then go up, yeah, something like this. So same for indices, right? That's why we have a very nice push upwards, and we are waiting for price to actually fall. Okay, and how would I determine when I should enter? I wouldn't even enter right about here. I would continue to wait if price does something like this. Wait, let me draw it out for you guys. We should have a break of this low here, break, test here, roughly somewhere here is where my pivot area is. It's okay if I don't enter at the best optimal level, but what I want to do is to get the best outcome for US 30, which is having more confirmations first, right, rather than being hasty and to sell off here, right? It could be in profits right now, but what if later on at about 6 a.m. suddenly price create a massive gap? That's something that we don't want, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is for US 30. Let me see. Okay, and moves in the opposite direction. You can say so. You can say so. Yeah. Yeah, you can say so. Yeah, no worries. Okay, let's go through. We still have quite a few minutes left. Okay, we have gone through all the majors. We have gone through gold. We've gone through crypto. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think one interesting thing is No, I don't want to go through GBP JPY. It's so bad right now. I don't even know it. You know, GBP JPY used to be one of my favorite pairs, right? Then after that, right, it just didn't really respect much of the strategy itself, right? So I will just take it out. Yeah. So sometimes, right, guys, just remember, even if, let's say, you are trading GBP JPY and your strategy don't work, right, doesn't mean that your strategy don't work for every other pair, right? It just means that you should take GBP JPY out of your watch list for now, because it is your strategy is not working with the way GBP JPY moves. Okay, so yeah. Oh, let's take a look at GBP CHF. I think this is pretty interesting because we have CHF news on Thursday. Okay, so I think for GBP CHF is pretty interesting because I used to not trade this kind of exotic pairs, but I believe it works better than most pairs right now. Yeah, so looking at our pivot point, right, it aligns with this 61.8% Fibo projection level, right, projected from this high to this low back to this high. So once you draw something like this, you are projecting that price will come towards this pivot point here. Alright, then what's next is our first support, right, aligns with the 78.6% Fibo projection as well as 138.2% Fibo extension. And you want to put this as your first support is because the next level is very far, so you wouldn't want to wait so long, right? So I would suggest this is still a pretty decent trade, right? If you manage to trade it, let me see, long position right about here, stop loss slightly here. Okay, you still get 1:2.4, so I think it's fine. Okay, just take note of these levels. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go through one last pair. Same thing, I don't like this US tech, very repetitive. Stocks also doing pretty well. What's next? Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, we've covered the majors, we've covered crypto, we've covered gold, we've covered US30 and also GBP CHF. Okay, let me just put this like that. Yeah, okay. All right, so I think that's all from me to you guys, right? Even though the most of it are at the majors, right, the rest of it not so much. Okay, so thank you guys once again for joining into today's pre-markets live session, right? We have this every Sunday. Yeah, so do join us if you have the time to look forward to the coming week's markets. All right, so thank you guys, do stay safe and trade safe. I shall see you guys again next time. Okay, bye bye.